Hello, dear creatives. Welcome to SimSWOT online flower class. My name is Oluyinka Oduobi. In this tutorial, as usual, I have something wonderful to give you. And in today's class, we're going straight to the point to the flower tutorials. We have another circle flower to give you. This is lovely. And just going to use my usual Everfoam. This is Everfoam, the glittering Everfoam. And I'm just going to start so that I will finish up this first one and you'll be able to understand. This I'm going to, but you have to be careful if you're doing it like this because Everfoam, the glue, your glue gun is always very hot. So for your safety, you have to be careful. So I'm placing this already. This is Everfoam. I'm using Everfoam. So I'm using it, placing it like this so that one will be drying before we do. This is the first one, and the first one, of course, you can use virtually any number of petals. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm using the 6 petals. You can use 5 petals, but for this tutorial, I'm using 6 because I want it to really be full. But the second petals, to show you how I made the second petals, I'm going to be using 8. But let me just show you how we arrived at that. Did you notice that these edges are roughened? So I'm going to roughen it now to let you see how I've done that. The measurement for this is very big too. The circle is big and it's 15. It's 15. So both of them are 15. And let's get started with it. So this, well, for now, you don't need to know whether one is rough, one is the right side or the other one is the wrong side. But I'm just going to burn the edges. But it is very important for you to know how I'm burning it. So please watch how I'm burning this. You roughen, I roughen. Can you see that this one is different from this? One is roughened at the edge and the other one is plain. So I will roughen this again. Of course, you can use your candle. If you don't have a lighter, you can use your candle. So that's the 2 roughened parts. Then with the head of my pin, I'll fold into 2 equal parts. This is the time that you need to know which one is the right side and which one is the wrong side. The smooth side is the right side. So I pin, I take my another pin. I always feel, then I go into 2 equal halves and you pin. So now what I do is just like 1 inch apart, 1 inch apart. if you look at it, let's say, okay, this is in centimeter, but let's say 1 inch. Okay, this is inch. See, 1 inch. This is where it stops. So 1 inch apart, you pin. All right. Do you understand? Then now I've already, in order not to waste your time, I've already done this. I've already pinned. I've passed running stitches to that one. So I'm just going to connect. So another 1 inch apart to this. Can you see I left it? So now, and I'm going to pin to connect it to the other one. So I will start passing running stitch and I continue my running stitch. So this one is the one of 8 petals. Then you'll understand, remember that I always say you should always pick all the edges. Is very important, very, very important. Till you continue passing your running stitch till you get to the end. Remember, I picked that very first one, and I continue. You pick the other one from the back and complete the running stitch. If possible, you have to connect to the beginning to the starting point. So what I'm going to do now is I want to connect to this. If you like, you can connect, and if you like, you can leave it. Okay. Okay, let me leave it so that you can understand that you can also leave it if you want to leave it. Can you see? I'm connecting to the last. Then you now arrange, pull, pull up, pull them all together and come to the starting point. Then you tighten. Remember that the first one of 6 petals are coming inside this place. The one of 6 petals. So for those that will ask me, how do I know where to the space to leave? So I will show you what to do now. You can't do it, you can't tighten too much. You can also use, okay, look at this. For this gap now, you can use something like this. So what I'm going to do is to use like a circular object to be a guide. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. Can you see what I'm trying to do? The top of it, it can also be your guide. Can you see what I'm trying to do? It can be your guide. Then I will remove it so that you can now understand what I'm trying to do. So if it's going to be your guide, because I'm going to place this one inside it. So, or the down one can also be your guide, depending on how you want to do it. I think I would love to use the down one as my guide because it has to be bigger so as to let the first six petals to sit. So this should be guide, and I tighten. Can you see? And I'm going to tighten into two, three. Can you see? I tighten. It's really tight now. So I've used that as my guide. I tighten like 2, 3, 4 times. And I'm going to cut the thread. Then I will spread out the petals. So I'm cutting out now. So you spread out the petals and close. This is where I started from. So you spread out the petals just like you want to in singles. Can you see? And at the same time, it should be spread the way you will love it to be. One must not be bigger than the other one. So can you see the space that it is now? And this one confidently use the word sit inside it. So the head of your glue gun, I'm going to put my glue round at the edges and sit this inside it. Can you see what I've done now? And spread it out. I hope it's clear. So now that you have done that, another glue. Now is the time for you to know whether the one of 5 centimeter will work. Let's look at it if it's going to work. Fine, it's still going to work. So you put your glue again at the edges and a bit here, at least scatter. Then I cover first. I'm still going to use the bigger one to cover it. Just be careful. Tuck it in very well. You need to tuck it in very well. So now I'm going to use the bigger glue and the bigger Alice band. I'm going to use the bigger Alice band because the flower is really big. So now you will, what you're going to do now is fold into two equal parts. Fold in four like I used to always tell you. Then this time it has to be a bigger notch. Yeah, it's going to be a bigger notch because the Alice band you're going to use is big. So now, as usual, bring it up. There's the wrong side, and you pass it. You see the bigger one because of the Alice band. You pass it and you pass it out and you move. You must not get to the center of it. You move. Can you see? I'm not getting to the center. This is the center of it. And at the same time, what I've always been telling you, you have to do that. If you have a mannequin, you can also use that as your guideline to know where it was. So now that you have placed it where you want it to be, this is where I want it to be. Then I go back here sparingly, and at the same time, then roughly here too, making sure it gets to the edges. The edges are very important. Then you cover and press it down. You press it down, so making sure you go all the edges. That is why I always teach you how to put your Alice band so that it will really get to the edges. You can be able to press it this place. You're able to press it, and that is how you fix that. Now I'm going to use my label, and you just put when you do a neat job. Of course, you'll be proud to put your label, which is what I do, and I put my label, my label, and look at how then you space it out because you know it was folded. You space it out, and you clean it out. If you're very careful while you're doing it, you don't need too much cleaning. Wow, I hope you like it. Is this your first time of joining the class? You're highly welcome. The Sims What, and we'll teach you how to make flowers. I love making flowers, and so I would like you to subscribe to my channel so that you can always come to look at how to make your own flowers. Also, this is really big. You can also use it for your fascinators. You can use it as gifts. You can tone it. Please give me a like. Encourage me to do more videos for you. Share it with all your friends that have the same interest like you. Don't give it only to yourself. Please share it to your friends, families that would like to know how to do all this. And if you want to join me in my class, you are free to walk in. You can reach at me on my WhatsApp, my personal number, and my WhatsApp. Thank you for joining. I hope you love it. Thank you. God bless. Bye.